Okay, here we go. I know that our foundation folks start their meeting today at noon, so I want to give them an opportunity to report to us first. I know Member Reed needs to go to that as well. So I am going to take item 4.1 next. Sorry, Vice Chancellor Troy, but we'll get to you shortly here. So Keith and Jan, are you, Jason, whoever is here, if you all could come on up, I'd like to get you through this so you can get on to your meeting as well.
Thank you and good morning. Is this working now? There we go. We appreciate you moving us up in the schedule. Thank you. And actually, I'm here to say goodbye as chairman. We are going to vote this during our meeting, which starts at noon, on new officers. So I've enjoyed spending the last couple of years and getting to know all of the Board of Governors. Thank you. And I will continue to see you because I will still be on the board, but just not chairman. I also want to make sure that the board is aware of our dinner tonight to do networking and get to know each other better this evening after your meeting. And with that, I'll let Keitha start her report.
Well, we can't let you go that easy. We're not going to do that.
Come on.
That simple. I just wanted to say, Jen, it's been a great pleasure, one, getting to know you, but also I just have a deep appreciation for your hard work this past couple years. This has been a tumultuous time, I know, for the foundation, and it gave this board a great sense of security knowing that you were there, that you were focused on the issues at hand. So I want to say thank you for your leadership, your public service, and everything that you've done for the foundation. And I'm really glad to hear that you'll still be on the board. So that's great. So
the community college is near and dear to my heart, so thank you.
Thank you.
So, Scott, I think you used a appropriate word to describe the foundation, a bit tumultuous. One of the things that I've learned throughout my career at the foundation is that we always need to expect the unexpected. And so you'll see in our written report, we've had a very interesting mix of really, really good news and really, really bad news. And I'm going to let Joseph tell you about the bad news. I'm going to hit the good news. So one of the things that we've done over the last couple of months with all of the news is that we went back and did a financial reforecast just to kind of see where we are. We did a budget, and I think I presented that to you guys at the last board meeting, and we were originally budgeting about a $500,000 build in reserves this year, which we're working to continue to build reserves. Those reserve builds included some anticipated new business and things that we're still working on trying to come down the pipe. They also included some significant business that is no longer part of our operations for this year, and you'll hear more about that. So what we did is we went back and did a conservative estimate of this year's fiscal year 13 budget, and we basically just stripped out everything that was unsure. So we ran the numbers with everything that is contractually in place at this moment. The good news is that we are still in the black for this fiscal year, which is great news, and that there's still a tremendous amount of upside in new business that we're working on that we think will come through. So there is some chance that we still come in on budget. The mix may look a little bit different, but we're still projecting in the black, and we'll be able to continue to honor our commitments to the Board of Governors and Chancellor's Office and the colleges throughout the state. So we're very happy about that. One of the pieces of good news, or another piece of good news that I wanted to quickly report on is our work related to our new flagship fundraising initiative related to the Student Success Task Force recommendations and their implementation. And very pleased to announce our first grant award for $300,000 It's basically capacity building for our organization to help the foundation work with the Chancellor's Office on implementation. And our initial efforts will be focused primarily on technology solutions and kind of awareness campaign solutions that can help inform students and inform colleges of the new rules around priority enrollment, and help colleges and the students understand what they need to do to get the classes that they need under the new student success rules. So really excited about that initial grant, and I think that there will be many others to come that this basically launches that initiative for us. So very, very proud of that. And I want to say a special thanks to Vice Chancellor Eric Skinner. He worked very collaboratively with our team to help us secure that grant, so thank you. And then with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joseph to talk a little bit about both some good and bad news, I guess.
Thank you, Keitha. So we'll start with the bad news and what has been a bit of a roller coaster month for us. As part of the governor's agreement with the SEIU to get to his current year budget, one of the negotiated factors was that across the state, all student assistants would be laid off if they were doing SEIU bargaining unit work. And as you might be aware, we've operated the Career Pathway Program out of our offices for a number of years. And unfortunately, on September 1st, we did have to lay off over 400 students. For us, it's hard because these are students that have been with us in certain cases for a long time. The state agency partners that we've primarily worked with depend upon these students. It's great professional development opportunities for them. Right as the semester started, unfortunately, we kind of had to pull the rug out from underneath them. We did our best efforts to try and change that. A lot of support from the Chancellor's Office and trying to make sure that the administration knew of the impact. And I think what became clear was that the governor's office didn't clearly understand the impact of this negotiated agreement. We've been told that come the next budget cycle, we should be able to try and kick our program back up again. Will it look the same? We think probably not, but we'll do our best to continue to revitalize the Career Pathway Program. Right now, our efforts are looking at the private sector and seeing if we can't follow the model that we've been operating in the private sector to place currently enrolled higher education students into on-the-job training. And so that's what we're doing now, and then we'll work with our state agency partners come July 1 to see if we can't reinvigorate the program and have those students back working. And for us, it was 400 students. There's other organizations that do the same similar programs. I think across the state, there were upwards of 3,000 student assistants working in various state agencies. So in our region, it was a pretty big impact. But as Keitha said, for us, it was a kind of a bit of a negative, but we're still projecting a good year. One of the things that has some potential upside.
Joseph, I need to stop you there, because one, what does that, well, I have two questions. One, so now you don't have 400 student assistants. Does that mean you replace them with SEIU folks, or does it mean monies go away from the program's done? And when you say you can start it up next year, does that mean, Marlene, there's new legislation that exempts this, or what? So
a lot of the state agencies are scrambling now to figure out how to replace the work that the students were doing. In certain cases, they're bringing on SEIU level or union eligible employees. So they're bringing on permanent intermittent status or seasonal clerk status. So that's part of the reason we feel that, once July 1 comes around, it is going to be a different program for us, because the state agencies have found another path to try and get the work done. What we've heard from a lot of our state agency partners was that in a lot of cases, unfortunately, the students that they might be able to rehire back were going to be probably paid less. It actually was going to cost the state agencies more, because this was actually a much more cost-effective means for them to get the work done. What the July 1 program looks like, we're just not sure yet, because we have to wait for the state agencies to figure out how they're going to handle, September 1 on, and then we'll start working with them in the next budgeting cycle to see what type of program we can kick back up with them.
Are the students gone now?
They were laid off from employment with the foundation as of September 1st.
So maybe Chancellor and maybe Marlene, can you shed some light on this?
Okay, let's remember first, there was a negotiation between the governor's office and SEIU. And the negotiation resulted in the fact that the SEIU agreed to take a furlough. But part of that agreement was that student assistants and retired annuitants would no longer be used. Well, I don't think the governor's office, or maybe even the governor, fully understood the implications of that. Because many of these students, frankly, they were dependent on that for their college education. And they were very useful in state agencies. But nevertheless, the negotiation was completed and signed. There was an attempt to reopen the negotiations, but as you well know, in any kind of negotiations, when it's signed, they say, it's signed, it's over. So all of these students and all of these retired annuitants can no longer be used in state agency offices. Now, the idea was that was supposedly to save the state money, or maybe some of the state agencies would hire new employees, which would be members of the unit. But there's no evidence that the state agencies are going to do that. So the foundation had a contract. They furnished the student assistants, and as a result of that, they received an administrative fee for that. They lost that administrative fee, so that impacted the foundation. But probably more frightening, it impacted students. And we used retired annuitants on occasions, and we used students, and we can't use them anymore. They were laid off effective, was it August 31st?
September 1st.
September 1st, okay. So if that sheds any light on it, I thought maybe I would kind of try to explain that in an unvarnished way.
Thank you, Chancellor. And so, but the direct question before Vice President Baca is, so you've lost that funding, A, to hire the students, but B, the administrative fee that goes along with that to provide that.
That's correct.
Students. So now it's up to either the state agencies to do whatever they're going to do, and or you'll negotiate something else.
Correct.
Correct?
And I think another important point about this is that the agreement that was reached and that was signed, it expires on June 30 of 2013. And we've been told by the California Department of HR that they expect to allow that agreement to expire and not be renewed. And so that's why we expect July 1 that we'll be able to restart the program, although the program will likely look a bit different.
And what is the amount of money that was lost? How big was that contract?
Oh, so we had multiple contracts. We probably had maybe 10 or 12 contracts with a variety of state agencies, the Chancellor's Office being one of them. We supplied
How
student
much was it?
assistance. It was probably just under $10 million, between $7 and $10 million for the full year. It's about a third of our business.
Vice President Baca.
I understand the loss in terms of work that was being provided, but could you say a little bit about the training or the experience benefits that were associated with this for the students?
I guess I could start by saying, as somebody who went through that program, I was actually a student assistant at the Chancellor's Office before I started with the foundation 9 years ago today. And so watching that within even our offices, we employ student assistants, and our student assistants that we directly hire at the foundation are not impacted. But a number of our students become full-time employees at the foundation. And in talking to our state agency partners, when this ruling came down, it really caught them off guard, and they were a bit shell-shocked as well, because they have a number of current full-time employees who started through the student assistant program. So it's a great workforce development training ground and program for the state of California. You take these students for a 2 to 4 year period, and they work in your offices as a state agency, and then once they graduate, you have well-trained folks who are familiar with the process, ready to apply for positions within the organization.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Next.
Go ahead. Do any other board member comments beyond that? Member Ramos.
Yeah, so this is a conundrum, obviously. But I guess, to be crass, what I'm wondering is, in the nature of our contracts with either agencies or students, are we exposed legally for non-performance? Is that a legal issue? I don't know if maybe Mr. Bruckman would like to address that. Is there any aspect of that that we would need to worry about as either a system or?
So we've spent a lot of time reviewing the language of the contracts just to see if we had any remedies, towards the state agency to utilize the contracts. Basically, the contracts are in place and they provide an up to amount that this provides a vehicle for the state agencies to employ student assistants, but it's basically at the state agency's discretion whether to utilize the contracts and at what level to utilize the contracts. So we feel very confident that we are in no way at breach of our contracts, and we're actually very thankful that the majority of the state agencies so far are just leaving the contracts in place. We have had a couple of cancellations, but the majority of our state agencies are just leaving the contracts in place so that we can just restart on July 1 and not have to renegotiate contracts.
Okay, and so were the students hired on an at-will basis, or do they have potential claims either against the agencies or against the foundation or us?
That's a great question. All of the students were hired at an at-will basis. The other kind of conundrum about this is that now all of these student assistants who are losing their jobs are also eligible for state unemployment claims. And so we've been assisting the students in how to access that benefit as well.
And then quickly to end on a couple positives. The first one, last time I presented to the board, I talked about the fact that we were in negotiations with Microsoft to try and come up with a new program for students. And I'm very pleased to say that as of last Thursday, we officially launched our new Microsoft Office for Students program, and I'll distribute these flyers, and do want to thank Vice Chancellors Linda Michalowski and Dan Troy, who helped last week as we did our initial launch in blasting some information out to the field. Students can now download Microsoft Office Professional Plus for $39.99, and we've seen just with our initial email blast out on Thursday that we've had over 250 students take advantage of the deal just over the last 4 days. So we will continue to promote this new offering. The sustainability of this offering depends upon the success. It was a little bit different structure for the foundation. We had to make an investment in pre-purchasing a number of licenses from Microsoft that we could then offer out to the students. We did a lot of financial analysis and made sure that we felt pretty confident in our ability to cover our costs and then recover a little bit more on the upside. And the upside to this program is pretty good if we can really get the word out to our students and they see the value in what we're doing. So we will be doing a lot of promotion out to the system and letting students know that for $40 you can download the newest version of Microsoft Office. And additionally, this builds on a program that we've operated for a number of years for faculty and staff. Faculty and staff from almost every single college within the system, those colleges that we support their campus agreement, have been eligible to purchase Office and Windows, and they continue to be eligible to purchase both the Office and Windows platforms under their work-at-home agreement in the campus agreement that we support. And then finally, just to touch on our air quality programs, as we mentioned, we had a huge loss with Career Pathways. I think air quality programs is an area that has really blossomed over the last 6 months and has helped to not make the career pathway as devastating as I think a number of us initially thought when we were sleepless nights trying to figure out what was going to happen with the career pathway program going away. We're wrapping up or I think have wrapped up the vehicle repair and replacement for motorist program, the VROOM program, the $20 million in settlement funds that we received to operate this air quality program. We're looking at benchmarking our success with that program to try and find additional funding for that. And then additionally, we've had a couple different extensions to our contract with BAR, where our in-house marketing team is going to help to do some awareness campaigns around our Smog Check Referee program, the program that we've operated for the Bureau of Automotive Repairs for a number of years. So we were able to get some enhancements to that contract to do that work. And then additionally, doing some data analysis work for what we think might be another promising new offering out of the foundation where we can start to build kind of data analysis work for particularly the Bureau of Automotive Repair and other organizations where we envision utilizing student interns to help us do that work.
Questions or comments from board members? Member Ramos.
Great presentation as always. I do want to say, because I know, Keitha, you circulated a really important email recently about Carrie Wood moving on to other pursuits, that it would be inappropriate, I think, not to acknowledge her major contributions to the work of the foundation and the system. The Chancellor and I had multiple occasions to join Carrie in visits with major funders that ultimately supported our work around the OSHA initiative and other activities, including the early phases of the Student Success Task Force work, which I think she deserves a lot of great credit for. So I don't know, Chancellor, if you want to say a word about that as well, but I would hope that you'll pass along to Carrie our best wishes, our sense of loss in her decision to move on, but our sense of gratitude for her service and best wishes for future success.
Certainly, I'll just second what Henry had to say, because I found it a joy always to work with Carrie, and she accompanied us on several occasions seeking gifts, and I know she went to another organization to head up their development office, and we certainly say to her our best wishes, but I think you're right. I certainly would second your comments about the value of Carrie Wood.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
Thanks.
Keitha.
I was just going to thank Member Ramos and Chancellor Scott for your comments about Carrie. It was very appropriate. Thank you for bringing that up. She will sorely be missed at our organization. Many of you know that Carrie was our very first member of our fundraising team at the organization, and before Carrie joined our organization, we did not do any form of traditional fundraising. So she has really taken our organization to the next level, and really very excited for her for this new opportunity that she's been fronted with, but she will sorely be missed. She is here with us at our board meeting, and so hopefully we'll all be able to say our goodbyes at dinner. So we'll see you guys tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
all. See you.